Just doing its thing. We're live.
We're live.
Okay, so as usual, sound check.
Let us know if you can hear us.
That's the main thing we're on. So let us know if you can hear us and if it's clear.
I don't know why we say that. If they can't hear us, then
I think usually I get a comment saying
we can't hear
you.
Yeah.
So that's what we're waiting for. There's obviously like a bit of a delay. I'm not wildly optimistic. Say some stuff. So
okay, yeah, we're talking. Welcome to a very special Dark Corners live stream. Different to what we usually do. So I'm here on this screen. Graham is over there in mission control, but you'll be
there. I am. We have two cameras.
We have technology, people.
I'm still setting up a couple of lights. I'm going to leave you with Robin to just discuss a little bit about what's going on.
Okay, so what we're doing, I really hate being left alone like this. Just flag it. Is we will be releasing to celebrate the 60th cinematic anniversary. The character has obviously lasted longer in literature, but 60 years since the first Bond film. We are releasing a new video, which is our Bond Girl Battle Royale. Very clear about this up front. This is about which Bond girl would win in a fight. So I have here in front of me my odd job hat filled with the names of 64 Bond girls. We have maybe stretched the definition of a Bond girl to some extent, but they are all obviously women who have appeared in the Bond films. And from 9:30, we will be pulling out the names, pairing them up, and those will be the matchups for the first round. Those who win go into the second round, and so on. It's like virtually any other competition of this nature. To work out who is not the greatest Bond girl, but like I said, the one who would win in a fight. So it's been a while since we've done anything even remotely. We've never really done something quite like this because this isn't open for public vote. We're going to, it will be a more curated video.
I've got some red light on me now.
Fantastic. Graham's over there in hell.
That now makes it look like I'm in mission control.
Yeah.
If I pretty lower that. There we go. Okay, back to you, sir.
Well, that's what's happening. I'm going to, pull out the
Robin is a little tinny. Is your mic on properly?
Not on at all. Amazing you could hear me at all. Do I need to explain it all again?
No, I was close by. Okay, so from the top, Robin. How is Robin now? Can we get a confirmation?
Yeah, that should be better because the microphone is now on.
Yes.
Sorry, there was going to be some technical problem, and I really thought anything technical that goes wrong, that was going to be Graham's fault, and it turns out I didn't turn my mic on.
Both mics are on. I mean, I could have got up and checked that sort of thing.
Yeah, let's be honest, it's my fault to not turn the microphone on. It's in my pocket. I'd prefer you not to go rooting around. Are there any questions about how this is going to work or anything like that?
Is there any questions? Just basically people are mentioning a few things.
Wild card. That's the other thing I need to do. So I said there are 64 Bond girls in here. There are actually 63 Bond girls and one blank piece of paper, which is the wild card, which we are asking you to put in your suggestions for a Bond girl. I mean, out of the 64, I think you'll be lucky to guess it up front. But
I mean, yeah, you've got to be thinking randomly. You're thinking, oh God, who's like super random? Rubelvich.
Yes. If you know who Rubelvich is.
The Russian equivalent to Miss Moneypenny.
Yes.
She is not one of the 64. Log Cabin Girl.
Log Cabin Girl?
Log Cabin Girl.
Yes.
Log Cabin Girl is the girl that Bond is sleeping with at the start of The Spy Who Loved Me.
There's also the girl that Pierce Brosnan is with, who I think we can call the cunning linguist.
I would just confirm there is Moneypenny is also in there. So if you're thinking that,
so we will be looking at your suggestions for who could be the wild card throughout. Most of them we will probably have included, but send them in. We'll see. And that will. And we'll find out who she's going to be up against.
I should just say the definition of a Bond girl is it's a girl in a Bond movie.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the
extent.
It's very broad.
If there was a background character who really drew your attention, you can send that in as long as you can name the film. Don't have to name the character, just the film.
Before we kick off,
Yes.
is there anything else we want to say? We've got the Wolfman special, which will be coming out later this month.
Yeah, end of this month, we have a special about the Universal Wolfman and about its star, Lon Chaney Jr., mostly about about that franchise, because there's a lot to get through. Hoping that one will go well. It's certainly an interesting subject, and that will mean that we have done made a sort of a big video about, I think, all of the Universal franchises, although we'd like to redo the Frankenstein one.
Yes.
But yeah.
Okay.
So very pleased about that. And then closer in November, potentially we have a special about Roger Corman.
Yes.
And in December, I always say potentially. December, the one in November is the one that some of you will remember we have been talking about for, I think, over 5 years now, called School of Corman. In some ways, it's the most ambitious special we've ever done. I counted 114 different films that we are taking clips from, which gives you some, and frankly, that's barely scraping the surface of Roger Corman's career. And we're also doing another sort of Corman-related special in December about his Poe films, and we'll also be talking about Vincent Price during that one. So lots of interesting stuff, hopefully coming up. A lot of it is we're better organized than we have been for a little while, I think.
It feels that way because
we were fallow during summer.
I mean, with the Wolfman special, it is, I would say, 95% finished. It's more or less picture locked. It just needs all the tweaks.
It's really rare that there's a special coming out and I've already got the next special completely written. That never happens.
Okay.
Are there lots of Bond girls being suggested?
There's a fair few.
Go on, throw some out.
Somebody's put wild card, Hong Kong girl, you only live twice. Doesn't really narrow it down.
No, but we have got some girls from You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
I've got a list somewhere of all the girls in order. Should say all the girls are numbered. We don't have a seeding system. They're numbered by basically the it's mainly chronological.
It's mainly chronological, and then when I got to the end, I was like, oh, we need a handful more. So some of the ones at the end actually are from earlier films. Sometimes I fixed it, sometimes I didn't, but they've got a number. Yeah. But that just allows
I just wanted people to know we haven't seeded them in advance. We didn't go that far.
So, for example, give me a Bond girl.
Helga Brandt.
Helga Brandt. That is You Only Live Twice. And then I can look.
That's just because it was on my list. I've got just a chronological list of them in front of me.
So
alongside my hat.
Oh, you see.
I want to show you the hat as often as possible because I have to tell you, I don't know if my parents are watching yet, but Mrs. Science Advisor.
Helga Brandt up on the screen there. So I will be able to give you a photo if it's somebody random.
Yeah. But I just want to shout out to my parents who are probably watching because Mrs. Science Advisor, my mum, ran along to my house with this hat, specially in the pouring rain because I forgot to collect it when I was at theirs for dinner the night before. Anyway, so thank you very much to the Science Advisor and the Science Advisor's wife. That sounds like the name of a film, The Science Advisor's Wife.
I'm sure she'll love that. I would say so far what's coming through is a lot of fans for Wei Lin.
Right.
And just for the record,
you know what?
Yeah,
I can't show favoritism, but yeah, that would have been a fake.
I can tell you that the Science Advisor is in the house.
Yes.
And is paying attention. And somebody has shouted out, "All hail Miss Science Advisor," from Colleen. That was. Another favorite is obviously Caroline Monroe.
Naturally.
Naomi.
Yeah, a very brief Bond girl, but because I think if it was anybody else playing that part, then no one would really care.
It's not her voice, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
I think you might be right. There's an awful, but there seem to have been an awful lot of Bond girls who were revoiced. Yes. Most of them by the same woman, who we can say is Nikki van der Zyl.
Graham Geese has confirmed she is dubbed.
There you go. We did a lot of research into Bond stuff. We were going to do a whole bunch of top 10s, and the first two did so badly that we didn't finish up with the rest of them. So there are lots of fantastic facts I now know about Bond that I just have to drop into conversation in everyday life. Otherwise, it seems like time totally wasted because I did rewatch every Bond film back to back, preparatory to doing that, mostly on fast forward.
I would
Just try
just
to get
say,
through them all.
watching a Bond film is never time wasted.
There's a few where it is. Watching them back to back is not the way to do it. Especially when you're trying to take notes on everything. You just, I want to create top 10s. What am I looking for?
We have another shout out for Teresa on Her Majesty's Secret Service, or Tracy, as she's also known, Mrs. Bond.
Oh, right. You see, we were talking about this earlier. It's amazing how few of the names of the characters actually stick with you, unless it's something like Pussy Galore. If you told me that's, I know that's Diana Rigg's character, but I don't know the name of the character. Not a clue.
So, did you say you were going to start the draw at 1:30, or are we just going to like?
Yeah, no, we're going to start the draw at 1:30.
So we've got another 20 minutes to fill.
All right, come on, questions, people.
Questions. Give us some questions.
It seemed like a good idea. Give people. Now we've advertised it that way. We're going to do it that way. But yeah, I think we anticipated more technical problems than this. There's only so many times I can show you the hat, and it stopped being impressive now. But look, I own a bowler hat.
So yes,
because I'm a classy gentleman.
Colin's doing a shout out for Chew Me from Man with the Golden Gun.
We can reveal Chew Me is in the list.
Okay. Favorite Bond film? There's a question.
Oh yeah, it's a difficult question. I think you could almost. I always come to, can I name a few?
Yes,
I don't know. Okay, I like From Russia with Love. I like a lot. I like The Spy Who Loved Me a lot. I think Goldfinger. I don't know if it's like a personal favorite, but I think Goldfinger is just probably the best. If you just like to distill a Bond film into what it can be.
Yeah, I think that's it. Goldfinger is like, that's Bond. That's when it's properly figured out what it is before it sort of starts becoming lots of other things. But again, I really like From Russia with Love because it's a spy film.
Yeah.
And I think Daniel Craig did very good at reinventing it with Casino Royale.
You see, I love Casino Royale until the end, until the sort of like the last half hour of it. I just think that all the Venice stuff is just such nonsense.
Okay. Any other questions here? Favorite Bond score? Well, I can answer that one straight away. On Her Majesty's Secret Service is fantastic. Bond score.
I don't know about Bond score, or are we just talking the theme? I would think.
No score.
Oh gosh,
film score. He's very precise about his wording.
Wow, then that would be tricky because I don't know if I really noticed that. A friend of mine, this is sort of tangential, but a friend of mine went to see David Arnold doing a performance, who is sort of like a more recent Bond composer, and said he was the loveliest guy. Stayed around afterwards, and they were there. He's my friend John. I can't imagine he's watching, but just in case you are, hey Sharky. He is a massive Bond fan and has all the trivia and stuff, and was a proper fanboy with Arnold. And he said he was just such a nice guy, and chatted with him about the music, about all this stuff, and was really, really passionate about it. And he's a big Bond fan himself, and this was a dream job for him.
Cool.
Sorry, it's really weird having Graham there and the camera there. I'm not sure who I'm supposed to be talking to. It's probably you.
Talk to the camera.
But it's weird talking to the camera when you're there.
Yeah. I'm going to clarify a few questions again. What is a Bond girl? In our context, it's a girl who was in the Bond film. It's as broad as that.
Yep.
Obviously, all of the main ones are in there. And then there's like probably about another 20 to 30 more, getting rapidly more obscure.
Yes.
For example, Chumi from Man with the Golden Gun is in there.
Yep, absolutely. To be honest, if she gets a comedy name, clearly a Bond girl.
Yes. We're not counting Never Say Never Again. We did. We
have decided canon films only, as it were. So Never Say Never Again, and we're not doing the original Casino Royale. So Ursula Andress can be in there for Dr. No, but not for the one with David Niven.
So there you go.
Which means we lose Alexandra Bastedo, who's an actor I rather like. She was in The Champions.
Very good.
Incidentally, I never answered the Bond score question. I don't know about the score, but my favourite theme, I think I'm going to stick with Goldfinger. Just for that brass attack. Sorry, I'm going to keep doing that. It's weird having him there, but yeah. I think what I always I forgot the composer's name now.
John Barry.
John Barry. His drum and brass scores are that's Bond for me.
Scariest moment in a Bond film.
Scariest moment?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're really scary films. There's
I was-
stuff that's sort of like more
can I-
violent, but I don't think that's scary.
Not necessarily scary, but there's occasional times where Bond feels like he's really in danger. And I think one of them's in Thunderball, where he's being pursued through the carnival and he's been shot in the ankle.
That's a good scene.
The other one is on Her Majesty's Secret Service, where again he's made it back down the mountain, and just before Diana Rigg finds him, and he's like really sort of spooked, and he's like really uncertain about what's going on. Those are two that I think are.
I think scary
the
moments
most
are sometimes
intense.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they refocus on other characters who can die. So some of the I think if you're really attached to one of the girls and she's in a precarious position, then that can be quite scary.
Favorite Bond villain?
Bond villain. This is good television.
Well,
I've always got a soft spot, and again, my mum will approve of this. I've always had a soft spot for Baron Samedi, who I think is a fabulous character, and it's a great performance by Jeffrey something.
Jeffrey Rush.
It's not Jeffrey Rush. Is it even Jeffrey? But whoever it is, it's a fantastic performance. And although it's sort of like taking Bond almost into fantasy, I think it's just, it's a great performance. I really enjoy it.
What have we got here? Yeah, Lazenby being menaced in the ice rink has been mentioned.
Ah, right.
The scene in Moonraker where the girl's being pursued by the dogs.
Yeah.
She is in the drawer.
Right.
Could not tell you her name. I know she's in there.
Is she just in the drawer as like Dog Girl?
Dog Girl. No, she's got a real name.
Oh, you found her name in there, but yeah.
Yes,
okay, we can confirm.
I don't think we've got any that are just randomly Dog Girl.
You see, actually, I don't know the names of any of the characters really in Moonraker, so I'm assuming it must be Corinne Dufour.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not Holly Goodhead, if that's
Manuela.
Manuela.
I don't know who. I mean, now I know who Manuela is by a process of elimination.
The agent in Colombia.
Yeah, but if you told me Corinne Dufour was the name of the actor rather than the character, I wouldn't have been any the wiser. It's surprising how few of these ring any sort of a bell. Maybe we're the wrong people to do this.
We're wearing the T-shirts from James Bonding, which, if you like Bond, is a good podcast. You just do up your fly,
but very subtly.
And their phrase was "lovers, not experts," and
right.
So I think we can embrace that a little bit.
I always go like with enthusiasts.
Yeah,
but yeah, lovers, not experts is a good as good as anything.
Colleen's asked the least effective special effect will most likely be Pierce Brosnan's skiing.
Yes,
on the big wave.
Yeah. If you've never seen, there's a documentary called Everything or Nothing about all the Bond films. It's a really good documentary. It manages to go to a lot of detail and yet still be quite fast-paced. But Pierce Brosnan talking about that scene where he is windsurfing with a kite on the waves is hilarious, because he can't talk about it with a straight face, absolutely pissing himself with laughter. Which is good. He can smile about it, because at the time, I think it probably must have been incredibly frustrating that they were doing this with the character that he really wanted to play.
Colleen is asking another very pertinent question.
Okay.
What's going on with the Dark Corners T-shirts?
Yeah. No, that feels like it. This is like a tabled question. This is like, yes, this Christmas there will be Dark Corners merch available in the shape of T-shirts. You're looking at me like I'm saying something wrong.
I'm not wrong, but when you say Christmas, literally in about a week.
Yeah, but for Christmas, I meant.
But in a week we will be launching the store. We have two primary designs ready to go.
Yeah, there will be more,
and there will be more hopefully as we go along.
Yes. So you can proudly wear your Dark Corners merchandise and prove you. And this is how you meet people. You put on Dark Corners T-shirts, and people in the street will say, "Are you a Dark Corners fan?" "I'm a Dark Corners fan." Because I get stopped in the street all the time, recognised by people. It's frankly annoying.
What else have we got?
Or it will be when it first happens.
favorite non-Bond film from a Bond actor.
Wow.
That
We
could-
are really filling this time, aren't we?
that could just be any film, or does they mean like
I'm gonna,
an
okay, I'm
actor
going to
playing,
put
an actor playing Bond?
I think one for, yeah. No, we'll assume, yeah. So let's do one for each of them.
Okay.
So Sean Connery. That's taking a long time already.
Lost Crusade.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'll say Hunt for Red October, just so we got one each. Might have to come back to Roger Moore. But,
and George Lazenby.
Yeah, maybe. This was a good idea.
Timothy Dalton.
Got...
Timothy Dalton, Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
Hot Fuzz for Timothy Dalton. That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I'm thinking,
Pierce Brosnan. Thomas Crown Affair.
Really?
I love Thomas Crown Affair. I think it's great.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's one of the best Bond films.
It's one of the best. Always good to see him.
And Daniel Craig.
I'm going to go Knives Out. I really like Knives Out.
Looking forward to the next Knives Out, a Glass Onion Knives Out movie or whatever it's called.
I am cautiously optimistic because it's one of those where you just think, I don't think there was any reason to do this. So I hope they have done it for the right reason. They have done it for fun.
Okay, this is from Bradley Bailey. Sorry for keep repeating because he's asked this question several times and I keep missing it. But yes, if I miss your question, just keep repeating it till it's answered.
You've got 9 minutes.
It scrolls very fast. Have you watched any of the anti-Bond media from the 60s, like Harry Palmer's Michael Caine and Callan with Edward Woodward?
I've certainly seen a couple of the Harry Palmer films, which I very much enjoy. Is it the Ipcress Files, the first one? Yeah, so I'm talking to him again rather than the camera. It's very off-putting, which is a fantastic film. I don't think I've seen. Is it Callan?
Yeah.
No, with Edward Woodward. No, I haven't seen that. But yeah, there's always been sort of films that had sort of declared anti-Bond ones, because the same thing happened with The Bourne Identity when that came out, and then Bond sort of readjusted to be more Bourne.
Okay, how do we feel about Margot Robbie or Anya Taylor-Joy as a Bond girl?
I not really care. I don't really care who plays the part as long as it's well-written character.
I think as I was going through the list of all the Bond girls, it was sort of remarkable how more often than not that was the peak of their career.
That's true.
And quite a lot of them. I would say the only one who I felt got a career boost from Bond was Ursula Andress.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
That was enough to
probably because it was something new.
But that sort of kept her working for a good number of years, where I don't necessarily feel that.
It must be a relatively early performance for Jane Seymour.
Yes, and Frankie Jansen as well.
Yes.
The other belly dancers from Russia and Spy in it. That's in the top 10.
Spy Who Loves Me. Loved Me.
Right.
There is a belly dancer in that, isn't there?
There's a belly dancer in Spy Who Loved Me. No, in Man with the Golden Gun, because he swallows the bullet. Yes. She is not in it.
No. So that would be a valid wild card.
Yeah. What else have we got here? Great parry. Roger Moore in Cannibal Run's very funny.
Yes. Yeah. I think Roger Moore in cameo roles, you're more likely to find. Yeah. Another favourite, aren't you? Although The Wild Geese it's hard to hate The Wild Geese. It's not a great film, but it's a bit of fun. And Roger Moore is very good in it.
Favourite Bond ally?
Ally?
Yes. So like one of his, he usually has that older mentor.
Oh.
It's
hard to go wrong with Q. I like Quarrel. I've always had a soft spot for Quarrel.
Yes, Quarrel's good. They mentioned Callum Bay.
That's a fantastic choice. And that guy, that's a sad story, but he's fantastic and gives a great performance in his last film. I love that. That I think is the saddest moment in that film is when he gets killed. Great choice.
A dream director for the next Bond film.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a shame because I think Christopher Nolan would have done a good job, but I think
he's got it out of his system now.
He got it out of his system with Tenet.
Yeah. I would have loved Danny Boyle to have done it, but there you go.
I guess there's a good chance that he will come back if he gets to because they obviously wanted to work with him enough, and maybe it was just wasn't working for that script.
Yeah, maybe if whoever comes in now sort of gets to reinvent the franchise, which is really that could go either way. You could be celebrated or reviled. Although with Bond, you're most likely to be both because you can't please everyone. There's too big a fan base.
I wonder if they'll just get Martin Campbell back since he did such a good job of launching
Yeah,
Pierce Brosnan and and Daniel Craig.
He's the Bond relaunch man.
Do you have any thoughts on who the next Bond should be?
No.
Mine's changed. So go back to me. Mine's changed quite a lot just because actors getting older and aging out of the roles in the time that it's taken. And I don't know who the young bucks are in the industry now.
No, I don't. I'd like someone notably different to Craig. I'd like someone with charisma. I wouldn't mind it knocking back a little bit into the suave side of Bond, having someone with a little bit more of that towards that end of the Bond spectrum, just to sort of differentiate it as much as anything. But it really depends what they want to do with this reboot, because they do have to sort of go back to the drawing board. I mean, we've said before and many times on this, I think, that what we'd like is to see it as a period piece, take it back to the 50s.
Alfred Hitchcock was Fleming's dream director for a Bond film, which he kind of did with North by Northwest, is the kind of a Bond-ish.
Is it
that one? Kind of, sort of the globe-trottingness of it.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that he was trying to do in his later career, he was always trying to do a realistic Bond, and films like Torn Curtain came out of that, and they did not work. So Torn Curtain and Topaz were both ones that sort of started their genesis with that idea of it being a realistic Bond film. And they just went in the wrong direction very much.
Let's say it goes back to period.
Yeah.
And they're going to redo the Bond books. Which book do you start with?
I've never read any of them.
All right, but roughly, you know that the films
not a remake
very
the books.
loosely follow. But I think the films are so removed from the books in many ways.
Yeah.
I think you could go back and redo it. So what Bond film would you remake?
What Bond film would you remake?
Yeah, from the Connery Moore era.
I think Thunderball Thunderball's interesting because it's been done twice, and neither film I think is Never Say Never Again is not a great film, and Thunderball is where it starts to get baggy. So it would be nice to tighten it. It's the one that would benefit most from modern technology because the underwater stuff could be better. Is so much better and could be a bit tighter and a bit more actiony. So I would say that one.
Yeah, good.
We should probably start gearing up.
Okay, so shall we just explain again what's going to happen for those just joining us?
Yeah. For those of you who are joining us for the live draw, which is going to start in about 2 minutes, I have before me my Odd Job bowler hat filled with the names of 64 Bond girls, actually technically 63 Bond girls, and one wild card whom you can make suggestions for. And I'm going to pull names out of the hat. We're not going to discuss all of them.
No, we'll discuss like anything that sort of pops up as a little bit interesting. Yeah. But what we're going to be doing is, after we've done this live feed, tomorrow Robin and I are going to sit down and bash through this tournament and figure out who is the Bond girl who will win in a fight.
Yes. And we're going to keep coming back to that. It's who would win in a fight. There's not really any other criteria. And it's who would win in a fight based on what we know about them through the Bond films. So not just if they were sort of like everything taken away.
Yes, yeah. And and if they're a little bit cunning, like whatever their techniques are.
Yeah, and we said that some of the Bond girls, someone like Honey Rider in Dr. No, we don't really see her fight a huge amount. On the other hand, clearly a survivor. So that sort of thing comes into play.
However, the way she survived was, I think it was killing somebody, but she did it by sneaking a Black Widow spider into the bed.
Right. So there you go. That sort of thing. She could make it through a few rounds, depending on who she's up against.
Can she sneak that many spiders?
How many spiders
into the dressing room
does Honey Rider have? So yeah, that's how it's going to work. I will pull a name out of the hat. Then the next name of that hat out of the hat will be who that's matched up with. And and we will hopefully get lots of interesting matchups, and we won't lose all of the interesting people in the first round. It seems like some of the interesting people must make it through to the second round because they're the ones who would be the ones who will survive.
At least half of them will.
You're saying they're all interesting people.
It's time.
It's time, right?
Here it is.
Here we go.
The first draw.
Hope you're watching. I'm just going to dive into this. Okay.
Hold on.
First,
I need my
hold on.
cheat sheet here so I know I can look up and remember to call out the number so I can find them.
Okay. This one's calling to me. First name is, and this is number 28, Holly Goodhead.
Holly Goodhead, Lois Charles from Moonraker.
Yep.
That
doesn't feel like the most auspicious.
It's one of the more auspicious names. So Holly,
it's a proper Bond girl.
Holly Goodhead is going up against
number 37, Cara Milovi from. This feels like we've picked the two blandest.
But this is who it is up on the screen right now. This is the lead girl from the Living Daylights.
So it's the girl with the dirty name up against the girl with the cello.
Yes.
This has not got off to the the breakneck start I wanted. Okay, next up, big name coming, I'm sure. Number 54, Strawberry Field.
Strawberry Field.
Sorry, that was from our Beatles Smackdown.
One of the many MI6 agents who are totally useless.
Yeah, MI6 is and she will be up against number 38, Pam Bouvier.
Yep.
From License to Kill.
This is Pam Bouvier up on the screen now for you.
Carrie Lovell. Okay, yeah, I know who Carrie Lovell is.
So another agent.
Oh, so that's agent on agent.
That's agent on agent.
Exciting stuff. Right, okay.
What have you got for me?
We have a big name now. Number 26.
Number 26.
Anya Amasova.
Let me pull up an Anya Amasova. This is
personal favorite, but I will not, or one of my personal favorites, but I will not let that influence me. So that's
Anya Amasova, Barbara Bach from
The Spy Who Loved Me. That is
a Soviet agent.
Now that I would say that's someone who has a shot, and she is up against. These are stuck together.
Okay.
Up against number 30.
Yep.
Manuela. No, sir. Who we were talking about?
And I'm going to pull up an image for the live
from Out of Moonraker.
This is Out of Moonraker. So that's who that is. She does very little and gets killed by Jaws. That's her fate.
Not predicting how that's going to go. We're just saying that's what happened. All right.
I will predict Jaws will not kill her in this
right, yeah. Jaws will not.
So that was Anya Amasova going up against Manuela.
Yes.
So for the next pairing, we have
number 60.
Oh, yes.
Is it pronounced? I pronounced this wrongly. Is it Numi?
Numi. Let's go with Numi.
Numi, played by Lashana Lynch in No Time to Die.
No Time to Die. A very strong contender.
Very strong contender. That is 007.
That is one of the people I've made in my notes is a Lady Bond. Actually, that's what I've got written on my screen here.
Lady Bond.
Lady Bond.
Just sounds like the name of a razor. She is up against number 55, another name that I do not recognize. This is embarrassing. Valenka. From Out of Casino Royale. Really? That sounded to me like a 60s one.
This is Valenka. She is Le Chiffre's girlfriend.
Right.
She's not terrible, but I think that matchup is going one way and one way only.
You know, before we started this, he actually said that we shouldn't be talking about how they were going to go.
I'm not exactly who they're going to go up against. So that's on me at the moment. So let me just dish that out. So that was, I've got to make sure I note these down. Valenka going up against Numi, a very unlikely win. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, okay, keep it going. This is exciting.
Yes. What have we got?
Number 20, Solitaire.
Solitaire.
Another big name. but not necessarily a big fighter.
Big
Big name,
but will she see?
recognizable name. She
Will
will
she
see
see
what's
the
going on.
future?
Yeah, she may just not turn up. She saw what was coming and just didn't bother. And
Okay.
she is going up against. Sorry, I need to keep the pace up.
Yes, keep the pace up.
Okay, number 58, Dr. Madeline Swan. So from out of more than one.
So
Dr. Madeline Swan?
yes,
Yes?
one of the
Did I lose you?
Yeah, I was just looking at something. I got confused about something.
Okay.
Yes, Madeline Swan.
Yeah, okay, I'm just going to crash on. Number, is that 18? Yes, no, 16, sorry. Teresa Diana Rigg from out of On Her Majesty's
Tracy.
Secret
You
Service.
could just say Tracy.
Mrs. Bond.
Mrs. Bond.
Mrs. Bond.
This is someone who's a contender in my book.
Yeah, she doesn't have a track record of living.
She doesn't have a track record. She's not bulletproof. We know that much.
She will be up against number 24, who also doesn't have a great track record of living, Andrea Anders from Man with the Golden Gun.
Okay, and this is one of the two Maud Adams.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's
there are two Maud Adams.
Will she face herself in the future?
That's a possibility. That's a real possibility.
Absolutely.
Actually, to be honest, I don't think it is a real possibility, but theoretically, it could happen.
Okay.
Another first pairing. Number 34, Magda.
Magda is...
She's the Russian agent, isn't she?
She's part of... Magda is part of Octopussy's circus. She's one of the performers.
I'm thinking of the wrong person.
Also,
I'm thinking of the wrong person. Yeah.
She's the one who has the egg. Property of a lady.
Yes.
There's a lady.
Right, that's Magda.
Okay, and she's going up against...
Number 27, Naomi.
Caroline
Munro.
Monroe.
Is it again? No idea who Naomi was, but it's Caroline Munro.
That's it. Okay, let's bring her up on the screen because I think we like a bit of Caroline Monroe. There we go. Caroline Monroe, dubbed in this one and flying of a helicopter with lots of bullets and things. So that's pretty cool. Back to me. Back to you.
Number 40.
Number 40.
Who is Natalia Simonova, and played by Isabella played by Isabella in Goldeneye. This is the I have a few facts on each one.
So this is the lead female in Goldeneye.
Yeah. Who I think gets kind of, I mean, I don't think she's going to win, but I think she gets a little bit underrated as a Bond girl.
And she's going up against...
Number 32, BB Dahl.
Do you know who BB Dahl is?
The ice skater.
The ice skater who keeps hitting on Roger Moore. And I've got a picture here. There we go. BB Dahl, according to the profile, she is 16 years old. So could very well be the youngest.
Right, the youngest, isn't it? That would be interesting to know, actually, who's the youngest and the oldest, although I think I can guess the oldest.
Who?
Well, I'm assuming M.
Oh, yeah, we just gave.
I don't know.
Okay, let me just scroll down. Okay, what's next? What have you got?
Number 56, M.
Hold on. Oops.
I don't believe that.
Well, there we go. I've got there we go. M. Miss Dame Judi Dench.
You see, this is one of those ones where we're going to have to decide on what the rules are, because theoretically she's got the British Secret Service behind her. But on the other hand, if it's just sort of like two women and one comes out, then maybe the older lady won't fare so well. But she is up against number 35, Stacey Sutton.
Stacey Sutton is Tanya Roberts from A View to a Kill.
That's the lead female, isn't it?
Yes.
Stacey Sutton. Who knew?
But
don't know these names.
I will say, not a terrible contender, because she does know how to shoot a gun full of rock salts.
Yeah, I'm sure that will hold up the head of the Secret Service. Number 15, Helga Brandt. You see, I recognise the actor's name more than I do the character. But it's You Only Live Twice.
So Helga Brandt, she's the redhead in You Only Live Twice, kind of a Fiona Volpe clone. Fiona Volpe being the redhead in Thunderball. So tough
I think I
female
get
agents.
those two mixed up. I can picture. I know who Karen Dorr is, so I picture that slightly better.
Okay, and she's going up against.
She is going up against number 53, Camille Montez.
Hold on, I can get this up on the screen. 1 second.
Which is apparently Olga. Yeah. From Out of Question of Sport.
She is the lead in Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, that will be why I have no idea, because that's a terrible film.
One of the few Bond girls Bond doesn't sleep with. That's the bit of trivia there for you.
Fantastic fact.
Okay.
Will that help her in this fight? Okay. Next up, number 25, and again another one we mentioned earlier, Chew Me.
Chew Me.
Not a long performance, but she was there.
1 second, we go. That is Chew Me. That's literally the shot of her in the film.
That's it. And she is going up against number 8. Oh, it's one of our tag teams. We have Jill and Tilly Masterson.
Yes, some Bond girls could not be split apart. They just seem like they belong together. I think there's a very obvious one that everybody knows, but we decided to put Jill and Tilly Masterson up together.
Ill-fated Masterson girls.
Neither one of them competent on their own, and I suspect as a tag team, not that much competence either.
Yeah, there should have really been like a sequel to that in which James Bond is hunted by the Masterson parents, but I think their parents were dead. You ready?
I am ready for your next one.
Number 48, Miranda Frost, which is Rosamund Pike's character in... Oh, you see, I can't do it without the form. Die Another Day.
Die Another Day. Okay, so...
and you want to say anything about her?
I will say something about Miranda Frost. Good with a sword, Olympic gold medalist. So, again, a great contender. There's a picture of her with a sword. And, yes, a good choice. And she's going up against...
She is going up against... good with quite a different weapon. Xenia Onatop, sorry, number 41.
Thank you.
We have a system. Xenia Onatop. Who feels like that could be the match of round 1. So you've already seen as good as this gets.
That is quite the matchup. There we go. There she is. Thank you, Jamson. And so yeah, that's going to be a good matchup there. Both of them good weapons experts. Both of them bad girls. So that's very good. Are you ready for the next one, Mr. Robin?
Yep. Crash God, number 49, Vesper Lind.
Vesper Lind. Eva Green. I think one of people's favorite Bond girls, but in a fight, maybe not the one you want.
Maybe not.
Going up against
number 45, Dr. Christmas Jones.
Possibly one of people's
least favorite Bond girls. And I don't know if she'd be very much better in a fight.
She may look like Lara Croft, but she's not.
She's got big boots. She could probably kick. Boots. So could kick kick someone in the shins. Okay. Right. Number 22. Now, this is a more obscure one. This is Miss Caruso.
But played by
Madeline Smith. The great Madeline Smith, a Hammer actor.
Here she is up on the screen. Now, she is the Italian agent Roger Moore is bedding at the start of Live and Let Die.
You see, again, I would not have guessed the name.
And she's going up against...
number 36, Mayday.
Strong contender.
Yeah, I feel like... I like Madeline Smith, but I feel like Grace Jones might have the edge in a straight fight.
Okay. What have you got for us?
I've got number 47, Jinx.
Jinx. I think another strong contender. one of the more competent agents.
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
Agents
Up until the end.
universally tend to be pretty terrible.
Not universally. British agents universally. Foreign agents tend to be pretty effective.
And she's going up against.
Sorry, yeah. Number 11, Paula Kaplan, which is Martine Bessick.
Is Martine Bessick one?
Another
second.
Hammer actor.
There we go. Martine Bessick. Quite a small role in Thunderball. But, you know, I feel
we'll leave it at that for now.
I feel that she plays the role of Bond wingman. Basically, the boat's broken, and then he swims off with Dominic.
Yeah, I think it's one of the more poignant deaths, though. I think actually across the whole series, I think that's quite I mean, she doesn't have a huge amount to do there, but you sort of feel her death. And I think, does she take a suicide pill?
She does take a suicide pill.
I think that adds to it quite a lot.
Information. And I think
it's a good role for Martine Bessick, actually.
It's, you know,
who's an actor we like.
Creating one of the scenarios that happens a lot in Bond films, women that Bond fails to protect.
Yeah. Good at saving the world, not good at saving women.
Okay, what have you got up next?
Number 6. Now, oh gosh, I hadn't thought. Is this a contender or not? Rosa Klebb.
Come on a second, let me get that up.
Are you getting the picture up?
Rosa Klebb.
How far will that sort of weapon really get? The knife shoe.
The knife shoe is a main weapon.
Yeah.
She is also Spectre number 2.
Well, that's the thing.
No, number 3. Sorry.
Really, you wanted to see her up against M in a way. That was sort of like the old lady grudge match.
I think she would take M in that scenario.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think she fights dirty.
She is up against number 13, Octopussy.
It is the second appearance for Maud Adams.
Yeah.
I think
I sort of like Rosa Klebb for that.
Oh yeah, because Octopussy not a great fighter, so I would definitely be backing the Rosa Klebbs on that. And what have you got next for us, Robin?
Yeah, sorry. These things are fiddly.
All right.
I'm the one who cut them up, so I've got nobody to complain to. Number 21, Rosie Carver.
Rosie Carver
from Out of Live and Let Die
is the first black woman that Bond gets it on with. So a groundbreaking role there. Also setting the standard again of useless agents.
Yeah, I was going to say groundbreaking. I'm not sure she has a great shot at this, but
she does get shot. When I looked this up, hold on, it was really funny. She is shot by a remote control scarecrow.
Oh, that's a way to die. Anyway, she is up against number 19, and I don't think this is going to improve her chances necessarily. She's up against another of our tag teams.
Oh, yes.
Bambi and Thumper.
Interesting. I've got that as Thumper and Bambi. There they are.
It's Bambi and Thumper, right? I've no idea if any of you are commenting or even still watching. This seemed like it was gripping when we planned it, and I'm not convinced it is.
Thumper and Bambi. Oh, there is that. I just reading a couple of comments. Octopussy has an army of fighters and will also throw octopuses at people.
Okay.
So
I'm glad you're all getting involved.
A bit of that. I
guess that could be it. Actually, I don't know if that's a very interesting matchup, but
what do we have up next?
We have it's the wild card.
It's the wild card. So I'll be looking at these comments when this is all done to see who you've suggested fills the wild card slots.
Yeah, if you missed it earlier, then the wild card is one you can suggest a Bond girl that we have missed, and our definition of Bond girl is any girl who was in a Bond film. So
yes,
and that will fill that slot, and the wild card will be up against number 17, Tiffany Case.
Tiffany Case, Jill St. John.
Yes,
in Diamonds Are Forever.
Diamonds Are Forever. And to be honest, I feel like your wild card has a shot at making the second round.
That is quite shocking. It's true. I don't know.
So a Bond girl so obscure that they don't make the top 64 could get into the second round.
The one talent, I've got the picture here for Jill St. John.
Okay.
The one talent she has is not shooting that well with a water pistol.
Yeah. Concealed weapon in her bikini, but not well concealed.
Yes.
That came out wrong.
What do we have up next?
Number 13, Kissy Suzuki.
Kissy Suzuki.
Terrible name. Terrible name.
Only lived twice, so I've got to get this right. Kissy Suzuki is the
Second.
Is it the second?
The one who ends up with,
I would need to see a picture. Oh, right. Yes.
Aki is the one who gets
yes,
killed.
There we go.
Who I don't think has come up yet.
There we are. So that is
Must
Kissy
be in
Suzuki.
here somewhere. If it's Aki now, that would be...
So my comment on Kissy Suzuki is she runs off to go get Tanaka and then comes back with all of these ninjas, but doesn't come back with clothes.
We're in a hurry.
So Kissy Suzuki.
That's something most Bond girls forget at one time or another. Kissy Suzuki is up against number 62. Now I feel like I'm calling bingo. Hip's schoolgirl nieces. Char and Nara.
Char and Nara.
We know so they know karate.
These are the two girls. These are the two girls. I've got a picture here. 1 second.
These could be the other contenders for the youngest Bond girls.
Yeah, these might be the youngest Bond girls. These are the two girls who help Roger Moore out when he's fighting in The Man with the Golden Gun.
The sort of thing that probably wouldn't happen in one of the Daniel Craig films.
Exactly. Incidentally, one of those is voiced by, what's her name?
Nikki Van der Zaar.
Nikki Van der Zaar.
Yeah.
Have you got the next
As
one?
are so many. Not yet, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so the next pairing is...
number 46, Electra King from World Is
Not Enough. I think quite a contender, a proper bad girl, if ever there was one. Maybe one of the most
She is up against
evil.
Severine from, and I have to check, Skyfall.
Severine,
you'll have to tell me who Severine is.
Severine is the sex-trafficked girl in Skyfall who Bond, with all of his compassion, walks into the shower with her, showing all of the compassion that he has for a sex-trafficked woman. And then she gets shot in the head by Silver.
Right. Doesn't feel like that could go either way. Number 52, Solange Dimitrios.
Solange Dimitrios. She is the girl on the island in Casino Royale who Bond hooks up with, the girlfriend of the guy who was going to do the bombing.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I know where we are.
Will dig out
I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not so familiar with the Daniel. I've seen all of them, but I'm not. I haven't. I think most of the Daniel Craig ones I saw in the cinema and never again.
Yes. So that's her. So
yeah, she is up against number 23, Mary Goodnight.
Mary Goodnight could be the most incompetent agent.
Could be. Britain is in safe hands. Ooh,
Britt Eklund, great in The Wicker Man.
Absolutely.
Less so in
this. Number 18, the best Bond girl name there is, Plenty O'Toole.
Named after her father, no doubts.
It's a classic joke. Sean Connery delivers that well.
There we go. There she is. That's actually one of the best pictures I could find of her. There weren't very many. And of course, she is Lana Wood, sister of Natalie Wood.
Yes. Probably not a contender. She is up against number 9, Fiona Volpe, which is the one I am getting confused with Karen Dor.
Yes. So Fiona Volpe, here she is. I think a serious contender.
Okay.
Yeah, especially from the Sean Connery era girls. I think she's definitely punching above her weight in the 60s. Yeah, I think we have to give some sort of understanding to the era in which these Bond girls exist.
Right. Okay.
So that is Plenty O'Toole going up against Fiona Volpe.
Number 59 is Paloma.
Paloma. This is
another one I wouldn't recognize the name, but that's Ana de Armas's character in No Time to Die. Best bit of No Time to Die, as far as I'm concerned.
Here she is.
If they were going to do a spin-off.
Now, the interesting bit with her is she claims to have had 3 weeks of training.
Yeah.
Prior to doing a hell of a lot of damage.
But we assume that maybe she had more. And she is up against number 3, Miss Tarot.
Miss Tarot is the girl in Doctor
Dr.
No.
No.
Hold on, let
The
me
girl
find-
in Doctor No.
The girl in Doctor No, who's not Ursula Andress.
Have you got a picture?
Yes, here is a picture of her.
I should be seeing these pictures. Never mind you guys. I think I know who that is.
Yes, she might look
I have to
Asian,
move some of these
but
at the
she's
moment.
not.
Okay. Next matchup is number 39, Lupe Lamora
Yep.
from License to Kill, which is the bad guy's girlfriend. In
Yes, it
License
is the
to
bad
Kill.
guy's girlfriend.
The one with
Here we are.
the one with
There
the
she is.
iguana.
Yes, the one with the
The
iguana.
one with the iguana. That's all I know about Lupe. Is
Okay.
that will she be able to use the iguana in a fight?
That's, I think so. That was one of them. Go back to me. There we are.
Okay,
It's one of the things she took with her, and she is up against
Number 14, Aki.
Aki. 1 second. So this is the first girl in You Only Live Twice.
And another one who I thought genuinely sad about.
Yeah, poisoned in her sleep, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and
so here we go. There she is. I've got a comment here.
Feel like
thank you,
unjustly.
Colleen. Colleen dropped us $5.
I'm amazed anyone would pay for this. This felt like it was going to be.
I'll just drop in with a couple of little bits that I can see up here.
Oh, okay. I'll wait.
Fiona Volpe is top contender. Somebody else said she's played Marilyn on Monroe on Netflix. We just
Anna
did
de Armas, which we have a review of out at the moment.
We did a review of that just
Interesting.
recently.
She was certainly uncanny.
Someone asking for a Paloma spin-off. I think we talked about that. We'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, to join. Aki, the Bond girl, You Only Live Twice. Miss Tarot, don't like her chances. And okay, yes, poison drops from the ceiling. We are good. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a sad death, that one, Aki, because it should have been Bond. Sorry, number 4, Tatiana Romanova. Daniela Bianchi from Russia with Love.
There you go. There she is. Not a contender, I would say. She does kill Kleb, though.
I don't think so.
She does kill Kleb.
Yes.
So she can shoot a gun.
Yeah, well, she's had some training. She is a rare. I mean, she's not a proper agent. She's like a. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the film. Anyway, she will be up against. Oh, you know what? She might make the second round.
It was
number 51, Dink.
Dink is
played by Margaret Nolan, is it?
Yes.
Yes. We were trying to fill this out earlier, and I spoke up for Dink because I like Margaret Nolan, and she died quite recently.
Yeah, Dink came out, and then Dink came back in again because I'd put Vesper in twice.
Right.
So Dink was out, and then Dink came back in again.
I don't think she's going to see the second round, but it's nice to see her there. She's a well known as a carry-on girl, really more than a Bond girl. But and like I say, she died, I think, last year before.
Okay, who
next
have we got up?
One we have
pairing?
number 5. It's another tag team and a returning actor, Zora and Vida, with the 2 gypsy girls from Russia with Love, played by Alit Segur and Martine Bessick.
There we go.
Who we've already had in Thunderball.
This is quite the tag team. I think
That's
they
a strong
could take
tag
on
team.
Thumper and Bambi, because I think
that would be great. But can they actually work together, or will they keep on clawing at each other?
I think they worked together very well when they were preening James Bond.
That's a different form of competition because they were both competing for him still. Anyway, they will be up against number 64, Ling.
Do you want to tell us who Ling is?
It's from You Only Live Twice.
Yes.
Played by Sai Chin.
Yes. Who is she?
I think she's the girl he's with at the start of the film.
She is the girl at the start of the film. There she is up on screen. So she's the one who says, "I give you very best duck."
Can I give my fantastic fact about Sai Chin?
Yes.
Sai Chin appeared in the Bond franchise again. She holds the record for longest distance between appearances because she's also in Casino Royale. She's played Madame Wu, I think is the name in the credits. I don't think she ever gets spoken to, but she's one of the other players at the table in the casino. I think that's fantastic to have that many years between your Bond appearances. That won't count, obviously, because it's not the character. It's the actor, not the character.
Okay, who have you got up next?
Number 31, Melina Havelock.
31. Melina Havelock.
From Out of For Your Eyes Only.
Here we go. Here she is. This is Melina Havelock.
Another one, if you...
She's the lead female in For Your Eyes Only.
Who I would recognise the picture instantly, but the name means nothing to me.
Incidentally, on Do Put Your Wild Cards In, and yes, technically, Maggie Thatcher was in a Bond film.
Yes, Maggie Thatcher is a potential Bond girl.
So I know that's not in the 64. So
feel like she might.
So Melina Havelock is going up against.
She is going up against. Number 50, she's going up against Madonna.
The sheer laziness of this is I didn't even bother to look up the name. I just went, it's Madonna.
I don't think she was acting that hard.
Madonna, who is the fencing instructor for gold medal winner, Miranda Frost.
So she must be better than the gold medal. Yeah.
And she's there in a S&M gear.
Yeah, but Melina Havelock has a crossbow.
There. That is true.
But if Madonna starts to sing, then that's like the fight over. Certainly if she starts to sing Die Another Day.
Okay, what have we got up next?
Number 43, Wai Lin.
I say Wai Lin.
Wai Lin. Yes, you're right.
Wai Lin, another huge contender.
Yeah, Wai Lin is a huge...
Hold on, let me bring up a picture. There we go. Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
A Hong Kong agent, weapons expert. Again,
ability to travel through the multiverse.
Yes, we both enjoyed that film. Go see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Lovely film.
I hope she gets nominated for it. I think she did a great job. Absolute contender, and again another female Bond. In terms of skills. Set.
Yeah,
I think she outdoes him in many. She definitely outsmarts him a few times.
I also think I like that film a lot, and I think the motorcycle along the rooftops and that is a fantastic sequence.
Yeah.
And Wai Lin is up against number 2, Sylvia Trench.
Sylvia Trench, another
rare returning Bond girl.
Yes, 2 films.
Yeah. But
here she is. There we go.
Don't want to preempt, but her chances in the second round are reasonably. I don't think she's going to make it.
No, I don't think so. So with Sylvia Trench, when Lois Maxwell got offered the role of Sylvia Trench or Moneypenny, and she decided to go with Moneypenny. But Sylvia Trench was originally going to be in a lot more Bond films than it panned out to be. So
was it going to be that he was going to have a girlfriend and then just cheat on her with everybody in the world?
Yeah.
Okay. Now why they gave up on that idea? We are getting close to the end. I can see because my hat's almost empty.
Okay.
Number 38.
But so before we do that, so if the hat's almost empty, who haven't we said yet? Let's have a look. So
okay.
Who haven't we said? Shoot some names in there.
I'm just going to have a drink.
Somebody say, yeah, get a drink in there. I'm going over to me. So Moneypenny, people have mentioned. Are we missing any other big names so far that you want to see? Again, lots of Michelle Yeoh being a martial artist. Hats off to you, Robin. Somebody says.
Thank you.
Let you drink and get ready. Nobody's mentioning Bond girls we've missed, but I'm just looking at what I've written down. We've got 10-ish left.
Okay.
Isabella Scorpio we have mentioned, so I can't remember who she's up against. But
no,
I can find that out. Okay, it's back on.
I just have a pile of pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, number 38, Dr. Molly Warmflush. One of the worst names, and not a name that's actually mentioned in the film. It's just in the credits.
Dr. Molly Warmflush, very late entry because
we had a gap to fill.
I had a gap to fill.
Yeah. And she's from Out of Die Another Day, and she's the doctor that Bond seduces into giving him a clean bill of health after he's been tortured.
So Isabella Scorpio is going up against Bibi Dahl, is their fight. And Xenoronotop is already in, and Xenoronotop was going up against Miranda Frost, if I recall.
It was going to be a good one.
Yes,
I think it's that.
I think
yeah.
it was that.
I like I said, I just have a pile of pieces of paper. Anyway, Dr. Molly Warmflush is going up against number 7, Pussy Galore.
Yeah. Oh, we need to see a picture of Pussy Galore. Let's get some Pussy Galore up on the screen.
There's nothing you can say about Pussy Galore without it sounding wrong somehow.
The late great Honor Blackman.
Yeah.
Again, she's got some judo skills. Contender.
Yep, I think so. Number 29, Corinne Dufour.
This is one that we
mentioned
earlier.
Yes.
So
from Out of Moonraker, the dog girl.
The dog girl. Hold on.
That's not a nice nickname.
The dog girl. There she is.
Yeah. Another one for the women Bond couldn't save.
Yes. So it says Warm Flush. That's not as sexy. That's a hygiene product.
Yeah.
Okay.
Possibly a hygiene problem.
And she is going up against.
Yes, Corinne Dufour is going up against number 1.
Honey Rider. I know that number.
Yes.
So Honey Rider,
the first
Bond girl. There we go.
Yeah, things just go from bad to worse for Corinne Dufour.
Ursula Andress, quite a contender. I think we already talked about her chances.
Yeah. Certainly one worth mentioning.
Okay, so the next pairing is
number 42, Moneypenny. Do you want to explain the deal?
Money Pennies.
Money Pennies.
Money Pennies. So here they all are, all 4 of them. If I can find their names.
Explain to us how the Money Pennies are going to work, Graham.
The Money Pennies are going to work is in each round, they put forward a money penny of their choice.
Right.
That money penny can then not...
That's anticipated they're going to get through a lot of rounds.
That money penny
4.
can then not go in the next round. So if you take Naomi Watts in the first round, you can't use her in any subsequent rounds unless they get through 4 rounds.
Right. Can Naomi Watts tag another money penny, or is that it? That's it. That's
it's
her.
like that's the money penny you put into
the other money pennies are cheering from the sidelines, but they cannot involve themselves. So
who they pick
doesn't sound
who they pick to go up against, whoever you've got there.
Yeah, sorry,
will really determine. Who they go up against will determine who they pick, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Money pennies are going up against. They've got a shot. Paris Carver.
Paris Carver. Terry Hatcher.
Society girl. Not really a fighter. I'd be delighted to see the Money Pennies in the second.
So, which Money Penny would you put up against a Paris Carver?
I sort of feel like, and I think I'd put Lois Maxwell up against that personally, just because you never know who you're going to get in the second round, and I think any of them can take Paris Carver, and I reckon. Lois Maxwell would actually, or would fight dirty. I
think I would actually go with a Samantha Bonds.
Yeah,
I want to be sure. I'm going through.
Okay. Well, this is obviously a discussion for tomorrow,
yes,
or for the Money Pennies.
Okay.
We are down to the final 2.
Are we down to the final 2? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So who have we got left here?
We have penultimate.
Yep. The penultimate one.
Number 61. Jacques Bouvar's widow.
Jacques
from
Bouvard.
Out of.
So this is the beginning of Thunderball.
Yes.
She fights Bonds.
Yeah, and throws a hell of a punch
in a vicious fight.
Yeah.
Jacques Bouvier's widow puts up a big fight, presumably defending her late husband and Spectre agent Jacques Bouvier.
Yes.
And
the last one,
Jacques Bouvier is going.
If you've been paying attention, you probably know who this must be.
Yes,
I don't, because I haven't been paying attention.
Nobody's called it. Someone's got here wild card. Blofeld's cat.
Ooh.
Well, Blofeld's cat does wear diamonds, so I think actually that's a distinct possibility. So the final one is
number 10, Domino Deval.
Domino Deval
from Out of Thunderball.
Let me see if I can find a picture there. 1 second. Do you have any comments while I'm sorting that? There we go. There we go. There she is, Domino. That's actually I think the only one we've had where it's been two characters from the same film going up against each other.
Oh yeah.
In the first round.
Well, there you go.
Okay, so yeah, some of the ones. So throw in some. She did kill Largo, who was number 2, Spectre's number 2. So she killed Spectre number 2's agents. Shout out some of these wild cards. Somebody said the girl with braces from Moonraker.
Ah, yes, yeah, that's absolutely
call.
That's a good call. Jaws' girlfriend.
Somebody said save Lois Maxwell for the true battle. So yeah, just throw in some thoughts about who you think's going to win.
Yeah. Let us know. I just pulled all these out, so to be honest, I don't remember many of the matchups. I don't have access to that information now.
I kind of wish I wrote these down in better. Right in. Also, I'll be rewatching the video to figure out who's doing it.
Yeah, to be honest, there was probably a better thing to do with all these than just leave them in a pile. I could have actually. Yeah, okay, but what I did was put them in a pile. 64 Bond girls.
64 Bond girls. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Somebody said Cassandra Peterson, who is Elvira, and I didn't know she was in a Bond film. Does anybody know about that? No, I don't know. Let's see if that comes up. Mistress of the Dark. Yeah, but which Bond film was she in?
Was she?
I didn't know that. I probably would have put her in if I'd known that.
Too late now. Oh no, it's not too late now. We have a
Diamonds Are Forever, apparently.
Is she like an act in Vegas or something?
She must have been like a Vegas act.
Yeah. Or just like a cameo role. Okay, we'll have to check that. But
I did not know that. We didn't. Yeah,
that's a
Monica
possibility.
Bellucci we didn't put in.
No, that's true. That feels like a big omission, actually.
I think that was one where they made a big deal about her being in the film and then she did nothing.
Yeah. It was
notes.
That's a very
that's why I
unpleasant
left her out.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's fair enough.
Yes. So, any other thoughts, people? Have you seen any of the film TV dramas based on John le Carré?
Yes, I've seen both the film and the television versions of Tinker Tailor, both of which are excellent. And the television also, sticking with Alec Guinness, there's another one, Smiley's People, that they adapted. They did other adaptations, which I haven't seen without Alec Guinness, but those two are really exceptional. And I love the film with Gary Oldman as well. And I've seen a couple of the other John le Carré adaptations. They did was it called Little Drummer Boy or something? Something like that.
Yeah.
That wasn't so great. And there was the one with Hugh Laurie, which I did enjoy, but I can't remember what it's called now. Okay. I mean, he's a very good writer.
Let's hear some matchups that people are looking forward to seeing. Colleen said Waylin v. Honor Top. And James, Christmas Jones was mentioned. I can't remember who she was going up against.
No, neither can I.
So I'll just throw in so many other questions. We'll do like 15 more minutes, and then we might go make some food.
Yeah, sorry, we haven't eaten. It has been a long day. We've been filming all day, pretty much.
Yes,
and preparing for this.
So when we come together, like once every 6 weeks or so, we'll shoot 6 to 8 episodes of Dark Corners and the Detractors commentaries that you can only get by joining us on Patreon.
Join us on Patreon.
Join us on Patreon for that.
Just $1 a month.
Yeah.
Will you get the Detractors commentaries for $1 a month?
You do not get.
You do not.
No, but for $1 a month, you do get access to the 52 weeks of silent film.
You do. You get me rambling for half an hour about a silent film every week. This week, you could have heard me talking about The Sheikh and Son of the Sheikh. So 2 films for the price of 1. Although I mostly talk about Son of the Sheikh because it's a good film.
Yeah. And of course, last year it was 52 weeks of Hitchcock, and that whole series is up there.
All this stuff, you can access that still now. So there's literally like hours and hours of me talking.
Yeah. So I was just reading comments.
Yeah, keep going.
I love that. Just hours and hours of me talking.
Total silence. Next week, I will be talking about Sir Arne's Treasure, which is a Swedish silent film, I should say, directed by Moritz Stiller, which I haven't even seen. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yay.
There is an interesting group of silent films I have done from around the world.
Excellent.
Yeah.
But there's the great Karate Girls v Bambi and Thumper. It's another dream match up there.
That would be interesting. I mean, from the way they're presented in their relative films, you'd have to give that to the Karate Girls. Bambi and Thumper get beaten. Karate Girls are taking on people who are apparently trained and really dangerous and have already scared off Bond, and they win.
Captain Barbara, Sean Flynn. That was probably some other comments that was related to this. I wonder if I go up and I might see something else interesting.
All your comments are interesting to us. Ignore the nasty man.
Well, I didn't read a lot of these comments as we were going through.
So. Well, no, we sort of had our minds on this. This was always going to be a slightly different live stream to what we normally do. We're going to make an effort to do live streams more often from here on in. So watch out for more information about that in the coming months. We may try and do something approaching a monthly, just so we can chat with you guys more and maybe chat more about sort of like specific subjects a bit more, alongside the usual rambling and just answering your questions, which we like doing.
I don't think it'll quite be weekly. It's more likely to be fortnightly based on what we've been talking about. And we're trying to have a specific topic. Oh, sorry, I'll talk to someone in the comments.
Right, okay. I mean, I said monthly.
Oh, okay. Well, we're about doing it monthly. Sorry.
We're not doing it monthly.
Okay. Well, whatever. It will be more frequently than 6 weeks,
yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
And somebody else has asked the important question, is this a light switch or is this a thermometer? It is a thermometer. So there we are. That lights up.
Probably doesn't work. Everything in here is controlled by Alexa anyway. It's
Don't say that out loud.
She'll hear. She listens to everything. She opened my blind this morning in the spare room. It was really freaky.
That's actually not true. Alexa's not responsible for that open.
Oh, you can say her name.
No, it's on it's on a timer.
Right. Okay.
That's why the blind opens.
It's all just part of the mysterious robot house that is very weird.
So just when Robin's done with the shower and he's in his room, then the blind slowly opens.
It's a creepy sensation.
More Dark Corners Undead. Yeah, if we get time tomorrow, we might try and do that. We've
got one that's just.
I might have lost it. That's my concern. Like sometimes if something sits on the hard drive too long, it goes somewhere and I don't know where it is and I can't find it again.
The problem is that we do have. There's always an editing backlog, so I guess it's a question of what you would like to see, the specials or the undead. It becomes a straight question of one or the other, and we know that more people enjoy the specials. Wish we had more time, but we both have jobs outside of this. When Dark Corners is earning enough money, then I'm sure we'll be able to do it more regularly if that ever happens.
Somebody's just asked about, is anyone else looking forward to watching Werewolf by Night on Disney Plus?
I don't have Disney Plus.
I've heard that it might be a bit shit.
Okay.
Like the trailer looked really interesting.
Is it a series or
no? It's a one-off. It's like a one-shot. But the rumor mill is a bit shit, and they've had to try and fix it a lot. So after seeing the trailer, which looked very good, I'm a little bit more cautious.
Okay. I don't get Disney Plus, so.
Oh, interesting. On the Karate Girls, I did not know this. Thank you, Doug. The Karate Girl is Yen Kui, classmate of one Jackie Chan.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That's a fantastic.
And she's also the landlady in Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh.
And I know one of them, I don't know which one it was, got arrested for playing mahjong in an underground gambling den.
Wow. That's pretty Bond.
Capsaurus says more editing. Graham doesn't need sleep. How's the book coming on, Robin?
Reasonably well. I started late this year just because I had so much else to do. So I'm still relatively optimistic it will be out this month. or early next at the absolute latest. I really want to get it out in October because it does make a difference to the Christmas sales. But it's maybe a slightly different tone to some of the other ones, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. There's still work to do, but yeah, it's coming along. Thank you for asking. Please buy it. It's going to be called, just so you know this in advance, it's the Wolf, the Raven, and the Black Cat.
Can you put it up for pre-sales or not?
I suppose I could. I don't know. I don't really see there's a lot of purpose.
When I'm not dark cornerings, I do a lot of random things. Basically, I work at an arts venue in London Bridge quite a lot, and then some other things that just give me monies. Nothing too exciting. Do we plan to do any more Sherlock Holmes films?
Have we done any?
We did
the Ely Norwood ones.
We did, yeah.
I'd like to find some Sherlock Holmes stuff to do. I would. But I have such strong opinions about Sherlock Holmes, I don't know. It would be nice to find like a properly bad Sherlock Holmes to do a review of. That might be fun. I mean, in my head, it would be really cool to do a special about the screen history of Sherlock Holmes, but that's absolutely enormous. There are so many adaptations. It's crazy. And we all know that Jeremy Brett's the best one.
A streaming review for Rodan, maybe. But we do have a Godzilla one coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Plus, Rodan appeared in Valley of the Dragons last week. So, what more do you want?
Have you seen Deadlier Than the Male, the sequel to Some Girls Do?
I think I have.
Great answer.
It wasn't desperately memorable. It's one of the Bond rip-off ones, if I'm thinking of the right film.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You seen anything at the cinema recently?
I saw See How They Run.
I saw that.
Which was nice, which was fine.
Inoffensive.
Yeah. A perfectly good way to spend 90 minutes. But it didn't excel.
It lacked a little something, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always, whenever there's stuff that's sort of like even tangentially based around theatre, I think the problem is that interests me more, and I wish they'd spent more time in the theatre and around that world. And I felt some of how they were portraying some of the actors was very surface.
Yeah,
that they didn't have a lot of depth in their characters, and the detectives sort of did. But I'd have been. I think you need your suspects to be equally interesting.
Whatever. I saw The Hatching, which I think was
I don't even know that.
I want to say a Finnish film. That was quite interesting. A girl finds an egg in the woods, brings it home, and then it grows and grows, and out comes this like mutant bird thing that kills people. It's a bit more complicated than that,
I'm
but
sure.
quite an interesting film. I saw Bodies, that was okay.
That's another sort of whodunity one.
Yes. Yeah. So I cut back. I cut to you when I spoke. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. Kind of liked it. Again,
I did hear someone say that you've got to stick with it because initially the characters are just so annoying, and you're waiting for them to die, and they do.
What's really good is that it's a really good sort of spoof of that. There's like a sort of wokeness in how they speak and treat each other that's kind of funny, that pokes fun at that in a good way. So I did enjoy that. I get the ending.
No spoilers.
I can't give away, but yeah, the ending is, you sort of need to have like a chat about that, basically. Okay. I'd fun to see how they run. Lots of Holmes actors, but knockoff films. That's just more things. It just sounds like something. Hatching. It's one of these sort of low budget, high concept ones rather than a monster movie. So it's a little bit more complicated than just this giant killing birds. I also watched this one, the Welsh horror film. That it's like one of the first film that's been made in Welsh in 5 years.
Oh right, I think I saw something about that,
and it was boring and very disappointing.
Nothing to do with Wales.
My apologies for asking too much. I know you can ask as much as you like, Connor.
We're here.
Glenn or Glenda, Dark Corners review, 100%. It's definitely coming. We're definitely going to do it, but
sure
we
we
don't
will.
have many Edwards left, so we're picking our time.
Is that what it is?
I think so. Maybe you can review one of the Sherlock Holmes from Asylum Studios. It has Holmes talking to a robot dinosaur.
See, that's almost too far the other way.
Have you seen Maverick?
The
Top Gun.
Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
No, I only watched Top Gun like a couple of months just before Top Gun Maverick came out. It's terrible.
I'm a little bit blown away by how much everyone's raving about it. It's good. I mean, it ain't anything special.
It's sort of a perfect storm of riding on that nostalgia and having one of the biggest guys in the world. It's apparently I haven't seen it, but just the practical flying stuff is pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's what I really liked. It was the practical stuff.
And to be honest, when you come out with a sequel that long after the event, for it to be, if it's reasonably good, then it sort of like mentally takes it up to excellent because you're expecting it to be bad, because most of these things are. So maybe you give it like an extra boost. When something you want it to be good and it actually is, then that's great.
I think what bugged me with it was so much like Star Wars, the original Star Wars. And once I saw it, you couldn't get away from it. It's literally the film's mission is destroying the Death Star. It's flying down a trench, avoiding guns on the surface, then hitting a tiny target. His targeting computer breaks, and he has to, in essence, believe in himself or use the Force. It was so beat for beat, the trench run. I couldn't see anything else. I have to address this. Maria, I'm aware that the guy, the widow, is in drag. We're just holding back the joke.
Yeah. I wondered it. I mean, someone was bound to point that out, I think. Yeah.
They mentioned it a few times, so I thought I better acknowledge it. Otherwise, it looks like I'm deliberately ignoring it, which I was, only because we're...
Yeah. Okay. When the video comes out, then we will address the fact that one of the people who we read out is not technically a Bond girl for a very good reason.
Originally going into that slot was Kim Basinger. In Never Say Never Again.
Yeah.
We switched it out at the last minute.
Yeah. Somebody else who would have been disqualified.
What else we got here? Thoughts on Mexican cannibal film, We Are What We Are. I've not seen it, so I don't have thoughts. Okay, 3 more minutes to get those questions in or not.
Yeah. Then we get to eat.
Main thing is T-shirts coming out soon.
T-shirts coming out. Wolfman special coming out end of this month. Obviously, this will come to some sort of culmination. When do you think is a realistic time frame for you getting this out?
I don't know, but I think once we've sat down and recorded it, then I'll figure it out. And whether it will be one big video or maybe it'll be like a couple of smaller ones. Maybe it'll be like the first 64, and then
rounds 2 and 3 or whatever.
And then put them all together.
Yeah.
Someone's mentioned Blofeld dressing in drag also as a wild card.
Yeah.
When does he do that? Is that
that's
yeah.
Charles Gray.
Charles Gray, yeah.
Who is a magnificent Blofeld in a lot of ways. I love Charles Gray is just magnificent.
It's funny because we just did a film with Donald Pleasance in it. We won't reveal
but
the thing now. But there's a Bond thing there.
Yes, and what we will say is that he clearly took his Blofeld costume with him after You Only Live Twice and reused it in at least this one film. Can you guess what film I'm talking about? If any of you have heard of it, I'm sure some of you have.
Andrew Parsons is calling me out for saying that Top Gun is just the trench run from Star Wars, when the Star Wars trench run is just the trench run from Dam Busters.
Well, he has a very good point.
It's a very solid point.
Astute man.
Which we did do in the...
And actually, the one from Dam Busters is just based on some real life thing.
some real life thing.
Yeah.
If you look
Nobody made that up.
If you look at our video of the films that made Star Wars, we do like proper comparison shots between Dam Busters and Star Wars, where it's similar shots and worse similar lines.
But it's extraordinary, isn't it, when you actually think about it? I mean, Top Gun Maverick wouldn't exist without this life or death thing that happened during the Second World War.
Then yes.
Well, there's a direct route. Well, the films would have happened. The Dam Busters wouldn't have happened anyway. Star Wars probably would have happened, but it wouldn't have looked like that. It wouldn't have ended like that. So Maverick wouldn't be able to get its inspiration from Star Wars. It's just, I mean, I just think that's an extraordinary chain of events, don't you?
I do. I was like, oh, we could have had an original film.
Yeah.
Or it just would have been based on some other plain thing that happened.
It also shows the truth is stranger than fiction, because frankly, that stuff, even in Star Wars, which, huge fan of, absolutely love it, one of my favorite films of all time, that feels a little bit forced. You have to go on this route, but there you are. It really happened. The truth is stranger than fiction.
Colleen is looking forward to Robin's 2023 book, The Science Advisor's Wife. If you're an acolyte on Patreon, we talk a little bit about some Robin's next dream project coming up in an upcoming Detractors commentary.
We do.
A musical.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's both of our projects, I think, for the sounds of it. We need to find a composer for the upcoming Dark Corners musical. But yeah, you have to be a Patreon to hear the details of that. Whether or not we'll do anything with it, I don't know. But at the time, it felt like a really viable idea.
James says, I love the comedy of your short reviews, but when you do more serious ones, it shows the love you have for cinema.
Oh, thank you.
And on that note, I think that's as good a place to end as any.
Okay.
On a compliment.
Thank you all for watching.
So, thank you all for watching. A little bit.
I should definitely wear more hats.
Yeah, you should do.
I have a hat face. My brother, when my brother got married, he the sort of like the whole the suit and all that all the groomsmen and so on had to wear was supposed to come with a top hat, and he wouldn't have it just because he looks bad in hats. I, on the other hand, look great in hats. You hear that, Dave? I'm never forgiving you for that. I could have worn a top hat in those pictures. I'd have looked great. I wonder if he's still watching.
There we go. The science advisor says good night.
Good night, Dad. Good night, Mum. Thank you for letting me borrow the hat.
What about Julie T. Wallace in The Living Daylights? Possibly. I need to look at all these comments.
Julie T. Wallace.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm struggling to remember what The Living Daylights is. Yeah.
That is Thingy's first film.
Yeah.
I just sort of pasted all the comments, so I've got them all. Yeah. Okay, that is all. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, Robin's mum and dads and Dave, if you're watching still. Cool. Good night.
Kenya.
Good night. Good night. Good night. And